Hey everybody, Any Pride here with milkandcookiesTW. Welcome back. Just wanted to give you a quick update before we get into this little fun replay I had with my good friend AggonyAchilles. I've been working full-time now, 40 hours a week at an association management company, so sorry for the lack of uploads over the last week and a half or so. I kind of just want to chill and ease into Attila. When Attila drops in the next 2 weeks or so, I'm probably going to go relatively hard on that. Like, I'm going to do as much content as I can, but again, like when you work 8.5 hours a day and then come home, you don't always just want to jump right in and do commentary videos and upload those. So I just kind of want to chill a little bit. I'm going to try to get Madness with me to finish that Sekigahara campaign, but just going to go slow at the moment. Upload speed not going to be as much as you guys probably got used to during the tournament and such, which I think is probably fine for a lot of you guys. As we all probably think at this point, Rome 2 has gotten a little stale, metagame's gotten a little stale, game's been out for a while now, and we're moving on to new things. Attila's going to come out really soon, and I think it'll be good in a lot of ways. In terms of multiplayer, not expecting a whole lot. It's going to be the same as Rome 2, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too much there. There are going to be new factions, obviously new units, and the mechanics might be a little bit different, but in general, I think that the build that comes out on launch is probably going to be relatively close to Emperor Edition. I could be wrong, but I think even if it's not, they're probably going to shift more towards Emperor Edition as time goes on and they release more patches, and I think the combat will probably start resembling Rome 2 the more the game is out. I could be wrong about that, but that's my impression anyway. So, like I said, meta getting a little stale. Of course, I hope you guys enjoyed the tournament, but we're now going to be doing little commentaries that aren't what you normally see, and this one, for example, I think is a pretty good example of that. Going to be playing against my boy AggonyAchilles. He's playing Massilia here in an ambush battle. I'll be playing Thrace, Odrysian Kingdom, and as you can see, I've got my boy nice and surrounded at the moment. Haven't sprung the ambush yet, but basically what I've done here is bring a core of Thracian nobles, as you would expect, from the Odrysian Kingdom. Ridiculously strong melee infantry Thracian nobles, huge charge bonus, have headhunt, and in an ambush battle, I've got to say, these guys have got to be one of the best units you could possibly think of. Shock infantry that can cause mass routes in an enemy line, hitting from both sides, front and back of an army, gonna cause a lot of morale shocks there, and so that's kind of what I'm going for. Obviously, ambush battle is pretty obvious what your plan is gonna be here. You want to surround your opponent and get into melee as soon as possible with Odrysian Kingdom, and just cause a chain route all across the line. Of course, people playing in an ambush battle in a defensive role here, like AggonyAchilles is doing here, they're going to be in a really bad position, and I mean, it's really hard to win these kind of battles, I'm not going to lie. One thing that Achilles really likes to do, that he's been doing a lot recently actually, is playing Massilia and using these Celtic Warriors, giving them 7 or 8 chevrons, 1 or 2 gold chevrons. What these guys do when you get to that, they basically get up to about 715 talents, and we're going to compare them to the stats of a chosen swordsman here. So Celtic Warrior with 1 gold chevron costs 715 talents, while a chosen swordsman for our Verni costs 720. Celtic Warriors 40 melee attack, 40 weapon damage, 25 charge bonus, 62 melee defense, 45 armor, 55 health, and 57 morale. If you go to a chosen swordsman, they have way worse attack. They have 34 attack, 40 weapon damage, 27 charge bonus, a little bit better. Same melee defense at 62. Way better armor at 75. And again, if we go to like tribal warriors, they're going to have 90. So way better armor. And then the same health and base morale, basically. So what this does for you, I mean, the Celtic Warriors, they're really nice chevron up like this. They're actually quite a good mid-tier sword unit. They're not going to beat tribal warriors. They're not going to beat chosen swordsmen. They do have better melee attack, but the 20 less armor really does hurt them, and that's the biggest difference. And you can't really control the armor when you give them chevrons. But he likes to do that. He likes to bring the 1 gold chevron Celtic Warriors. They're quite good, quite cost-effective, very nice mid-tier sword. And it's something that I haven't seen a lot of players do, to be honest. So I think it's kind of cool that he does it. I don't know if it's tournament viable. I mean, it's definitely not. Because there are simply better factions than Massilian. If you're going to be our Verni, why would you chevron up a bunch of Celtic Warriors when you can just bring chosen swordsmen? But basically what he's going to do in this battle, again, it's an ambush. He has 5 Massilian cavalry. Not going to be too scared of those, to be honest, because the Falks and the Ramphia both have a bonus versus large. The Thracian nobles actually have 20 bonus versus large. while the Folksmen have a 15 bonus versus large, I believe. So cavalry, yeah, the charge bonuses are going to be kind of devastating on unbraced Folksmen or Thracian nobles, but don't really have to worry about that too much. If I brace and they get tied down in melee, they get shredded by my Folksmen. So ambush is sprung now, and he's going to try to do what any good player would do in an ambush battle. This is something that if you do an ambush battle, you should always try to do. Break out of it quickly. He doesn't know that those guys, he just figured out that those guys are there, so he's going to quickly pull away, and he just wants to get everything out of this little death alley in the center here as fast as possible, which means he's going to pull them down the hill away from my troops, try to break out of it, and then reform a line, maybe something right here, try to take the hill. That's exactly what he's going to do. Now, he's pulling away from my Thracian nobles over here, which is a really good move from him, but he's not going to be able to break out these guys. They're going to have to fight because they are completely surrounded. He could try to send them this way, and maybe that would have been a good idea, just make me lose some of my Thracian nobles chasing them over there. But he's not going to do that. But for the most part, I think he's done a great job breaking out of this ambush so far already. He's going to actually be able to take this little hill right here and prevent some charge bonuses on his Celtic Warriors, which is very important. What you can see him doing here, shielding with his Levy Freeman, just meat shielding, going to let them take the charge, burning the charge from the Thracian nobles. And this is a 220 talent unit throwaway. So very good use there of the Levy Freeman to kind of just soak up the charge of these Thracian nobles, which, as you guys know, is completely devastating. 63 charge bonus, almost as much as Cataphracts. Completely insane off the charge. But yeah, I mean, Levy Freeman, like, I'm wasting a huge charge bonus on something that doesn't really matter. Now, I do have my Thracian nobles over here. These Thorax swordsmen are going to get tied down, and this is going to be a nice charge. We're going to be watching this in slow motion. Battle is really fast, as you can probably imagine most ambush battles with Odrysian Kingdom are. But Thracian nobles coming in on the flank here. This is going to be horrifying to deal with for the Thorax swordsmen. They're already down to 105 men, and some more Thracian nobles going to crash into their flank, and this is going to be a sad day for Thorax swordsmen. One thing I don't understand in this game is I've never seen a decapitation animation for Ramphaias or Falxes, which I don't think makes any sense, because if there's one sword in the game that should be cutting people's limbs off regularly, I think it's probably the Ramphaia. I mean, look at how devastating that thing looks. Massive sword, but nice, some nice killing animations there, and of course, Thorax swordsman down to 50 men off the charge. It's only been a couple seconds here. And red morale for all these Thorax swordsmen. They're cut off from their general, not close, gotten a ton of damage from the Thracian noble charges, and all across the line, a lot of wavering right there. Levy Freeman up here, he's going to be doing a lot better job in this melee engagement because I didn't actually get a charge into his Celtic Warrior. So this is where you kind of get to tie down Thracian Warriors or Thracian nobles, and you start doing a lot more damage here, is when you can actually prevent their charge bonus from getting on a good unit, then send in some cavalry or some skirmishers, get them on the flanks. They have really low armor, even the Thracian nobles do. They only have 55 armor, so they get, and they don't have a shield block chance at all. So if you can actually get skirmishers firing into them, that's really, really important against Thrace. And they are a very devastating faction off the charge in melee combat. They can really be quite effective and scary to play against, but if you're skirmishing well, and you manage to tie them down, waste their charges on Levy Freeman or something, it can be very nice. The Payas Lancer comes in and do a ton of damage to the Mercenary Dacian Spears, but not a big deal. This is actually what I wanted. I have two Peltas here waiting for these Payas Lancers to get engaged, and this is a good trade for me. I mean, I'm not going to be able to kill the unit here. He's going to try to pull through to Javelins pretty soon here, but they were at full strength charging in. Got 62 kills off the charge, but that was a throwaway unit. Didn't care too much about that at all. And now, with the bonus versus large for the Thracian Peltas, just shooting in, going to do a ton of damage there. And even if they do manage to get into the Thracian Peltas, which they won't be able to because I do have two Thracian Warriors and a Folksman in the back there to prevent these kind of charges. Even if they did get into melee combat with the Peltas, not necessarily the worst thing, because they will be able to kind of sustain in melee combat for a bit until Folksman reinforce, but gotta pull them out just in time. He's gonna charge in, Payas Lancer charge up the hill. You wouldn't think it'd be doing too much, but it is an unbraced Folks unit, and they only have, what, 10 armor, I believe? I need to look here. Where are the Folksmen at? Yeah, Folksmen have 10 armor, so Payas Lancer actually got 60 more kills on that charge as well. But now that bonus versus large and the Peltas firing in is really going to start doing its work. He's going to turn his flank, try to charge in the back with Thracian Noble, but now they're just really exposed, and they're going to take a lot of damage there. This is the only fight that's going super well for him at the moment. His main line of Thorax Swords routed. He does have some Celtic Warriors still alive, but 3 units of Thorax Swords, I think, routed right there. And that's obviously a big problem for him because they just routed right off the charge, didn't do very much damage at all. So yeah, this isn't actually the best place for a faction like Thrace to be engaged. Uphill into all these Celtic Warriors and Livia Freeman. Like, I mean, I'm still going to be doing a lot of damage here, but the problem is that I'm not actually able to pull out and get their charge bonuses off again. And that's really where they shine, as you guys know. The Thracian nobles got to get those charge bonuses off, and if you can... You kind of use them like cavalry, to be honest. You kind of just charge out and charge them in again if you can. But they're all tied down, and these Livia Freemen are going to be throwing their jabs, but I'll keep them in melee combat. So these Thracian nobles are probably just going to have to die. They're up to 150 kills, but probably going to die pretty soon here. But I'm able to reinforce now with a bunch of my Thracian nobles. My general here, who hasn't even... I mean, 100... He's at full strength right now, and he has 72 kills. They're going to be getting even more soon. But his cavalry out here... going to be doing more damage to the Falksmen and Thracian Warriors, but again, the bonus versus large for these guys is really helping me out. Like, he got Massilian cavalry into these really low armored sword units, but I think a lot of people do forget, because when you look at the unit stats, that they don't actually have the bonus versus large. They actually do have one. They have the 15 and 20 charge bonus, so they do a lot of damage to tie down cavalry, and you can see that's happening right here. Engagement's going pretty well for me. I mean, I don't know why the balance bar says it's even. It's shifting very much in my favor at this point. His general just died. Thracian nobles engaged in combat. Finally going to get some good flanking off there. These Celtic Warriors are going to get surrounded, and it's going to be no fun for them. I mean, they haven't done too bad. Yeah, 54 kills is actually not great. But just in general, I mean, I don't think Achilles was really trying to win this one as much as he was just trying to enjoy himself and bring a funny army. Like, bringing this kind of army in an ambush battle against Odrysian Kingdom probably not going to go well for you. I mean, Achilles is a great player. I mean, there's a pretty decent chance he's better than me at Rome too. But again, like, he's done very well in tournaments recently. But I don't think he was trying super hard to win that battle. If he wanted to actually win against Odrysian Kingdom, I think a interesting and probably better build is something with like Parthia and like an elephant, or Carthage and an elephant. That can wreck Odrysian Kingdom. If you have a lot of heavy cavalry and an elephant and some good skirmishing, there's not a whole lot they can do. No shield block chance. Skirmishers just wreck Thrace if you don't play it right. But really fun battle, because I don't get to use Thrace too often, and to be honest, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen me use it on my YouTube channel at all. Really love using them. I think their melee rushes are probably the most fun in the game at this point. Suebi on last patch was my favorite to rush with when they had the fear auras, but now it seems like Odrysian Kingdom is one of the few rush factions that can actually just mass rout armies in a couple of seconds, and that's just because their charge bonuses are so massive. Just cause, as you guys know, the morale penalties on this patch don't kick in very often. They only do when you get huge charges off, and again, that's what Odrysia does. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle. It's a little bit something interesting and new. And again, video's going to be a little bit slow coming forth over the last week and a half or 2 weeks of Rome 2's life cycle. Again, I mean, I'll probably come back to Rome 2 occasionally at some points. And certainly Shogun 2. I've been looking to get back into that as soon as the Tsukigahara campaign finishes. Probably going to do multiplayer content for that. But first thing is first, it's Attila. And there will be lots of videos for that if I can manage to make myself do it. I am really excited for the game. I'm just a little worried that doing 2 or 3 videos a day after 8 hours of work will be hard. Hard to motivate myself to do it, but I am really excited for Attila. I hope you guys are too. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you all later. Any Pride signing out. Peace.